Hi everyone, I'm Jo Fry and this is my channel Jojo Fry Rocks, and I'm going to be talking about my new, very old Fender Squier Strat that has just come into my life, let's say, and I'll be telling you all about how that's happened. I know I've said a little bit about it in a post that I put up a couple of weeks ago, but I'll tell you a bit more about the story of how it's actually come into my possession. But first I thought I'd go through a few of the tones because it plays absolutely brilliantly. It sounds really, really good. I'm absolutely loving the tones that I'm getting from this guitar. So I've, just to start off with, I've literally just put it on the clean channel, flat EQ, so everything pretty much at 12 o'clock, kind of no effects, just to show what each of the three pickups sounds like. So this is the first pickup on the neck pickup, just the neck pickup by itself. It's got a really lovely bluesy kind of tone. I have got a little bit of reverb, a little bit of delay, you know, because you just have to. But yeah, no effects other than that. If we kind of mix in the neck and the middle pickup. The middle pickup is actually my favourite. It's beautiful just by itself, but I'll show you that in a minute. I think there's a really, really nice tone with the middle and the bridge pickup, particularly on something like this song. Just the bridge pickup by itself. So much twang, so much twang. That's like the twangiest of twangy things. Wow, the twang on that is incredible. But it really does have that quacky, twangy, proper Strat bridge pickup sound in its kind of natural state, I guess. Which I think has got just some really, really interesting sort of tonal qualities to it. But yeah, it's not my favourite sound. It's not my favourite tone ever, but it's definitely a classic kind of Strat tone, isn't it? You know, really, really, really lovely. I'm just gonna switch to a different katana patch because I found some that I think actually kind of suit this guitar really well. So bear with me for a second. I'm going to use it to more or less demo the middle pickup, which is by a long way my favourite at the moment. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, really beautiful. And another kind of demo of the very sort of beautiful bell-like quality, I think, of this middle pickup. The way on a Strat that you can so easily switch between pickups when you need to. I know you can on lots of guitars, but it just seems particularly easy on a Strat. Love that, actually. Yeah, same thing again for the kind of bridge part of this Pearl Jam song. So. Love that, beautiful, that's so nice, that tone. Yeah, absolutely absolutely gorgeous. So the story of my new Squier Strat. A few of you might have seen that I put this post up a couple of weeks ago to say that I'd been to see a guitar that I'd seen advertised on Facebook Marketplace, and it was in the same town, so no postage costs or anything like that, which I thought seemed absolutely brilliant. I've been looking for one of these for quite some time, really. I think I've said a number of times before on the channel that my first ever electric guitar that I ever had was a Squier Strat like this one, an early 90s Korean-made Fender Squier Strat. 30 years ago, actually. When I was 13, I got it for Christmas in 1994, so almost exactly 30 years ago. And this is an almost like-for-like guitar, really. So this one is it's made in Korea, and you can see from the serial number, it says M2. The 2 means that it was made in 1992. There are some very minor differences. So this is quite possibly a Samick, made in the Samick factory in Korea. Although it's hard to tell because M in the serial number just stands for made in Korea. I remember that mine had a serial number that started with E, which means that it was made by Youngchang, the factory Youngchang in Korea. So although it was made in a different factory, the logo is very, very slightly different. This one is a kind of silver outline filled in black, whereas mine was more of a gold sort of colour. But really, these are very, very, really minor differences. It is almost the exact same guitar that I had 30 years ago. It's the same vintage. Mine would have been made in maybe 92, 91, 92, something like that. As I say, it was, I got it for Christmas in 94, so it's from around the same time. Mine was new, obviously. This has aged, and therefore the sort of pickup covers and the volume and tone knobs and everything have all kind of slightly yellowed, but because of the colour of the guitar, I actually think it looks really, really good. And this is probably what mine would have looked like, or probably does look like now, wherever it is in the world. So yeah, it's actually got a really, really nicely aged look, I think. I actually think it looks a little bit nicer than when mine was new and everything was all bright white. But yeah, it's the same maple neck, the same tuners, the same bridge, tremolo and everything. But of course, when I went to see it, it was not in the condition that you're seeing it now. And hence why I posted that I wasn't going to get it. I wasn't going to buy it because, well, for a kick-off, when I plugged it in, 2 of the pickups weren't working. So only the neck pickup was actually working. I was getting nothing from the middle or the bridge pickup. The tremolo arm was missing, which they quite often are on guitars like this. of this age. You know, it's rare to find one that's actually got the original tremolo arm on it. The pots were very, very, very crackly, and as I said, I was getting kind of nothing from two of the pickups anyway. The neck was warped, so I was trying to play notes. You know, I was kind of up here, and it was fretting out. It was just choking completely. So I knew that there was a lot wrong with it. There are some cracks, small cracks in the paintwork, which, to be honest, is very common actually. But the paintwork actually looked a lot worse than this when I first went to see it. They have actually done a very, very nice job of sorting that out, and there were some chunks out of the neck as well, which again they've done a really nice job of sorting out. So who is they, and what have they done? So I said, you know, I wasn't going to take it because that was frankly too much work and too much for me to be able to sort out on my own. And I said to the person who was selling it, because she wasn't really aware that it wasn't in good condition. And I said, you won't get the asking price for it because it's not in good condition. And anyway, I said sort of, good luck if you want to try and sell it. But I said the best thing that you can do, if you want a fair price for it in the condition that it was in, was to take it into Life Guitars in Exeter. They featured on my channel a couple of times before. They are great guys in there, and it's what they're all about really. Taking sort of second-hand and pre-loved guitars, well, in this case, neglected old guitars, and refurbing them, you know, setting them up, and they do fantastic work with setups. As you'll know if you've seen my Ibanez videos, they helped me out a lot with that. But yeah, they are absolutely great in there. They're the guitar whisperers, really. So yeah, a couple of weeks later, she brought it in. She took my advice and she brought it into Life Guitars. And they worked their magic. And they let me know that it had come into the shop. So I went to see it, and to be honest, I felt quite emotional. I actually felt, because I'd felt quite sad, and that's why I posted about it. You know, I felt like this had been stuck in a loft or something, and just completely neglected for years and years and years and years. And I'll put some photos in the edit to show you like just how bad some of it was. So for example, the trem unit had to be replaced, because it had actually it had kind of crumbled. It had gone kind of flaky, which, you know, for it to have sort of got that dry and brittle to that extent must have meant that it had been somewhere, I can only think like an airing cupboard almost. And obviously that was why the neck had warped as well. So, you know, I just had felt kind of miserable about the whole thing, to be honest. And so when I saw it, and I spent about an hour in there, in the shop with it, and my dad came in with me as well, to have a look, because I wanted to show him, look, hey, it's exactly like the first one that you bought me. I was just so thrilled. I was just so thrilled to see it in, restored to such a lovely condition. And it is now just honestly a joy to play. It plays so nice. I mean, they've set it up really nicely. The action's nice and low. No dead spots on the neck at all, obviously. All the pickups were actually working. Yeah, they said that it wasn't that any of the pickups were not working. So these are still the original pickups. They didn't have to change them or anything. But somebody had messed up the wiring. The wiring was completely wrong, and they were all kind of like wired to each other in some bizarre way. It took a good day of their time to sort out all the issues that it had. One of the pots was still very, very crackly, even once they sorted out the wiring. So I have had that replaced, and you can see that one of them is sitting a little bit higher than the others, because it's a different pot. I'm not particularly bothered about that. At least it doesn't crackle, it doesn't make any noise. So that's absolutely brilliant. And yeah, I've just been loving experimenting with all the different tones and sounds that I'm getting from this guitar. It's absolutely wonderful, and I'd forgotten actually how comfortable a Strat is to play. It's a nice kind of, old school C-shaped neck. I love these maple necks. I am just a real fan of the maple neck. And yeah, just with the body contouring and everything, and how light it is, even though it's a full thickness Strat body, and that's what I like about the older Squiers, because the Squiers today are just so thin and flimsy. So there is, there's weight to it, but at the same time, it's still a nice, light, comfortable, playable guitar. As anyone, any of you who have got Strats or Squiers will know that, obviously. So yeah, I obviously had to have it then. There wasn't, I sort of went off and pretended to go and have a think about it, and came back a bit later on, but realistically, I wasn't going to walk out and leave it in the shop, because who knows if I would ever find one the same or similar, in a condition that could actually be salvaged. So it really was a great opportunity. Sometimes I think these things are sort of fate in a way. I don't know, maybe I'm just trying to justify it to myself, but that's kind of how I feel. Exactly 30 years later, the one that got away is kind of come home. So yeah, really, really pleased with it. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the the demos and stuff, and hearing a little bit of what it can do. I'm sure I'll be doing a lot more with it on the channel, and yeah, now I can stop scrolling through eBay and Reverb and Facebook, right? I mean, that's all 7 slots on my rack, all full up now. So that's got to be it. Okay. Let me know in the comments if you've ever had a Squier, and what's your favourite kind of vintage or what's your favourite kind of type, if you've ever had one, what are your experiences with them? Or do you have a guitar that got away and that you regret and, you know, you've been searching for ever since? Yeah, let me know. Okay, thanks everyone.